Hello and welcome to the Brunton podcast series. I am delighted to be joined by Robert Mabbutt. Robert has been in the industry for well, possibly as long as I have. His father knew my father. This is the perfect example of families having multiple generations in the industry. Robert, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I talked a little bit about your dad then, Melvin. He was MD of the Danisco Bucks operation that then morphed into Mondi and then Smurfit Kappa. Tell us a little bit about how you first got into the fibre-based packaging industry.
I first started in 2010, so it's been nearly 10 years now, over 10 years since I've been in the industry. I actually got started through Your Trade magazine. I saw an advert in there for a sales job, and it was for Reed Butt and Milton Keynes. I applied, luckily was successful, and that was my first introduction to the fiberboard industry with corrugated. It was an amazing experience, fantastic business to work for. And I still remember my first customer, my first sale, when I walked out there as happy as I can be, and I'd forgotten to ask them key questions about delivery address, palletization, items like that, but I was so ecstatic to get my first order. It was amazing.
Good man. And obviously you switched to the dark side. You moved away from the box business, but then moved into the consumable supply. So am I right in remembering you moved to Amaral Beltec first?
That's correct. Yeah, I moved to Amaral Beltec first. An opportunity came up for a segment manager in the corrugated and packaging world. I knew the corrugated people. I knew who the contacts were. My dad helped me out as well. And that was brilliant because I actually got to go to the dark side, but I spent more time in these factories than ever before. And I spent more time on my hands and knees under the machines looking at them. So I got a real in-depth knowledge of how they worked and the processes they have to go to and the struggles they have, which actually leads neatly onto my current role as well.
So you then moved to CITO in 2017. What was your opening role when you moved to that business?
So November 17 was when I first joined Seto, and I started off as a sales manager. I had to prove myself there that I knew the contacts, knew the people. I could go out there and learn the products, which I did. And so they promoted me to sales director shortly afterwards, which was even more strategy areas to work on, more challenges. And I had to go out and develop my own strategy instead of following the MD's lead, which was challenging at first, but I really enjoyed it. And I think I've proven my worth to them as well.
And Robert, you were then relatively quickly promoted to joint managing director of CITO UK. But in the last 12 months, you've now taken on sole responsibility. So you're officially the managing director, CITO UK. Tell us a little bit about some of those challenges, bearing in mind that first 12 months has included the dreaded COVID.
Yes, I literally took over as COVID struck the UK and we're heading towards lockdown. So my first challenge was safeguarding all the staff and all the people that worked here. So working from home, new technologies, making sure people social distancing, buying hand sanitizer was a challenge at the time. And then focusing on customers. We had a range of customers from die makers to box makers and corrugated and also printers. And we had to work out who was open, who wasn't, how do we get virtual meetings working, how do we keep the business moving? And what I found is the team around me was really supportive. So we started to have these virtual meetings. We then started to send out new sample packs and leaflets, and we got more and more into the print area of marketing than ever before, and people loved it. And we've started to still continue to this day.
And I mean, what were some of the biggest challenges for you as a consumable supplier? Because obviously, those first couple of weeks, first months of the COVID pandemic, I mean, effectively factory doors closed. So, I mean, what were the biggest struggles for you as an organization?
Biggest struggle was actually communicating with our customers because they were either working from home or furloughed. The people who we knew just weren't there. And the focus on the business owners at the time was actually on safeguarding their people, safeguarding their business. Therefore, consumables kind of fell off the table a little bit. And we had to find a new routine. We had to find brand new contacts, brand new ways to talk to them. But one thing we did learn is when they needed us now. So our service levels of next day delivery, answering the phone as quick as we can, and sending them that vital information. They still needed it. And they realized after a few weeks that we're still here, we're still operating, and there was some relief in their voices as well.
Because I guess one of the issues that as a consumable supplier, one of the issues you're always going to face is that you've got to keep your name in front of the senior management. And yet your day-to-day contact tends to be with the production people, the shift managers, production managers, etc. So what work have you been doing to try and bridge that gap between effectively the boardroom, the general manager's office, and the shop floor?
What we found is at boardroom level, they're very technology based. So they're always looking at LinkedIn and looking at news articles from Brunton publications and the websites. So what we started to do was push more of our products and keep our advertising going. But also I've been trying to develop my LinkedIn profile as well as our CITO group profile to share news, new products, success stories, and importantly, videos of our product in action. One thing we learned is on the factory floor, we actually engage with two areas. We engage with the purchasing department and the people running the machines. So we've had to develop a way to target both. And what happens is when our box gets delivered, the paperwork goes to the purchasing person and the box goes to the machine. So we now actually double up our marketing efforts and send information to the purchasing guys, mainly price focused, and then technology focused to the guys on the machines. And we get phone calls now, randomly ring up. I've got a delivery. You've got this leaflet in here, or this star product. Can you tell me more? Can I buy it? And we're starting to see an increase in turnover with customers that way as well.
And Robert, it was quite interesting because you were talking there about how also you've had to develop those relationships, particularly at the higher end of the business, typically where you might not have had the touch points. But if you look at, obviously, sustainability has now properly come back to the top of the agenda, not just for box makers, but for their customers. How does CITO as an organization address sustainability? Because obviously there are key areas that you're messaging to your customers is, with the right dye equipment, etc., we can reduce waste, we can reduce, inventory, etc. So what is the positioning from CITO when it comes to sustainability?
So the sustainability drive has been driven by customers. And what they're finding is their customers want to reduce their paper-based packaging to be more effective and less waste. So we actually then end up with a challenge ourselves. So our customers are reducing liners, reducing paperweights, but they still need to print it in high quality and they need to die cut it in high quality, then glue it with as minimum as waste possible. So what CITO have done is develop products that enable the customer to still die cut perfectly with a 90-gram fluting or even 75-gram fluting these days, and still keep their waste to a minimum. So example, CITO Jet-F allows them to reduce their pressure. If they reduce their pressure, they're more delicate with the die cut, but also they're actually getting a longer die life. So the sustainability is not with the box, it's also with their die and their consumables as well.
And tell us a little bit about some of the recent product development, because obviously we keep using the word corrugated a lot so far, but obviously you guys are very active in the folding carton and even commercial printing as well. So talk to us about some of the developments, particularly on the sort of solid board, carton board side of things.
So what I'm actually seeing here in the UK on the solid board side is a reduction in the weights of papers and also the increased content of recycled fibers. And because those fibers are recycled, they're a lot shorter. And if they're shorter, they don't fold as accurately. So we've had to develop products such as CITO Ultima with its softer top attached to our CITO fan base that reduces the impact on die cutting and the abrasion. Therefore, it reduces stress and reduces cracking. One of the best innovations we have is our D5 top product, which is a profile rubber. Had a customer the other month who was die cutting advent calendars already, and they were having issues with constant cracking. Our D5 product came along, self-adhesive, we put it straight on the die, and it instantly solved their cracking problems. And it was fantastic to see because we developed these products, we test them with our die maker that we own, but it's nice for me to see them in action in the UK, to see it work, and then to see a customer go, oh my God, wow, I can actually run these 10,000 sheets now, it's brilliant.
And when you talk about new products, obviously, training is also something that's critical, because it's not just a case of sending a box of consumables off to a converter and saying, good luck with that, crack on. What sort of developments are you making in terms of your training, in terms of online content, help manuals, etc.? So what work are you doing there for customers?
So there's a couple of avenues we're working on at the moment. Is we're now part of the Bob's group, and we're actually part of their innovation and online seminars. So when you watch a seminar with Bob's, you'll see Seto pop up talking about the die cutting side of it, the die and the performance. And that's going to allow us traction because we can show our products on their machine and working. The other element we're building on is videos on our website. Our website is an amazing resource for customers. And it's a simple thing: is you're on the phone to the customer. I don't understand how this product works, Robert. What do you mean? If you go to this website, if you click this button, you watch a video, it shows them a representation of it, and it's fantastic. It's that good that even in face-to-face meetings with customers, I pull out my iPad and we show them videos of the product in action, and it instantly click, oh, actually, I want to use it in this area, in that area, will it work? And it starts developing the conversation, the testing, the training on their part, and hopefully they're happy, which they are, and then we get happy because we get orders.
Good man. Now, obviously, face-to-face opportunities are ever so slowly starting to come into people's agendas again. Have you got any big industry events where our listeners might be able to come and see you?
Yep, the 20th of September is the Sheep Plants Association's first in-place event for over a year now. I was a member of it before, and now at CITO we're a member. We've just joined this year. I'm going to be there face-to-face. I'm also bringing my father along because he knows many people, and the opportunity just to do more networking and show people physically our products and understand the challenges they're having with their customers and with the materials. So I'm looking forward to it.
Great. Well, Robert, thank you so much indeed. It's been great to catch up with you. I look forward to seeing you on the 20th of September as well. For my sins, I'll be there up on the podium having a bit of a chat to the audience. So for those of you who've not met Robert, look out for him at the UK Sheep Plant Association meeting, 20th of September. But in the meantime, Robert, thanks ever so much indeed.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Dan.